Elite Pod is also our response to grade school and high school students who have found themselves in distance learning or hybrid learning situations. And the fact is, we've heard from a lot of you guys about your experience last spring doing distance learning at school. And I know you have a lot of concerns. You guys got the distance learning blues. It's you're not entirely happy with it all the time. A lot of you are tired of you're finding yourselves isolated and cooped up at home for days at a time, which means that all of the distractions of home, like phones and video games and YouTube, are a constant temptation. And also the discipline and time management that are built into in-person learning, traditional in-person school, aren't really there anymore. And that's causing some issues. Some of you, worst of all, just aren't learning everything you should in your grade school and high school distance learning situation. So what we've done is created Elite Pod Supervised Study Space to counter exactly this problem. So Elite Pod is a safe space for students in grades 5 through 12 to study while they participate in distance learning. So students will be assigned, Elite Pod students will be assigned to a homeroom, an Elite Pod homeroom at their local Elite branch office by grade, with a maximum of 6 students per class, or as social distancing allows. Each student is going to receive a dedicated study space with fast Wi-Fi and cool air conditioning, which is probably super attractive right now when it's about 9,000 degrees for a lot of you if you're in California. And it's an opportunity for students to do their high school distance learning or grade school distance learning in a safe and academically stimulating environment that's somewhere other than their home, where they're already spending a whole lot of time and may want to escape. But it's not only a safe study space, it's also an opportunity for students to get help from elite tutors whenever they need it. So we've got expert tutors in a variety of subjects who will be standing by to help students with their difficult assignments, either during or after class is over, their high school or grade school distance learning class. It is a way for students to stay productive and disciplined in a space without the distractions of home. And most of all, with Elite Pod, students are never alone. Elite Pod lets them maintain their sanity, really, get out of the house and stay engaged and connected in an environment where they can relax and study and even socialize at a safe 6 foot or more distance. So in order to operate this program safely, we are, of course, going to be implementing very strict safety measures. Elite Pod membership is going to be very limited at each branch office. Only a small number of students are going to be accepted. So one of our safety measures is we'll be doing temperature checks for all staff and students upon arrival. Like I mentioned, classrooms are going to be occupied by no more than 6 students and 1 teacher, or if it's a smaller classroom, even fewer students. We're going to make sure everybody is at least 6 feet apart. And then all desks and common areas are going to be cleaned and sanitized regularly. So as I mentioned, space is extremely limited for this program because the number of students we can accommodate is so small. Elite Pod program availability does vary by location and by local health and safety standards because those differ from area to area. So currently, right now, some of our branches are running the program and others are going to be launching it later throughout the school year. Some of them maybe even before the school year, or as regulations allow, as health and safety regulations change throughout the year. So if you're interested in Elite Pod, I highly recommend contacting your local Elite branch and getting on the list so that you can reserve your students' dedicated study space. Branches that will be launching the program at a later date are keeping an interest list right now, or a reservation list. So just contact them, give them your student's name, and an Elite representative will keep you posted on Elite Pod launch dates and availability.